Thank you so much. It's good to hear the voice of Ambassador Wilson from Beijing. Chairman David Marsh, Mr. Fang Yinjian, Lord Desai, Mr. John McClain, and so many good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to attend today's forum, and thank you to Mr. David Marsh and OMFIS for your kind invitation. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to OMFIS and all those who have been supporting the development of China-UK relations over the years. I think the theme of today's forum, Building Bridges, could not be more fitting. In today's world of rising uncertainties, it is all the more imperative for countries to work together to deal with the common challenges and promote mutually beneficial cooperation. It has been a Chinese traditional virtue to focus on self-cultivation in hard times and bring prosperity to all after achieving your success. Starting with running our own affairs well, we have all along been building bridges for communication and cooperation, and with the purpose to promote global peace and development. This year, despite daunting external environment, we have been advancing Chinese modernization at home and pursuing high-quality development. Our economy has been steadily recovering and turning for the better. In the first 3 quarters of this year, China's GDP grew by 5.2% year on year. In the first 10 months, the total retail sales of consumer goods increased by 6.9%. Industrial added value grew by 4.1%. China's economic growth is now higher value-added and greener. New energy vehicles, lithium batteries, and photovoltaic products have become the new name cards of Chinese exports. And the total exports of these products in the first 3 quarters expanded by 41.7%. So the IMF has just raised China's economic forecast for 5.4% for the year 2023. And China is projected to generate about 1/3 of global economic growth this year. China remains committed to advancing high standard opening up. We have announced the removal of all restrictive measures on foreign investment in manufacturing. The 6th China Import Expo was held recently, attracting over 3,400 companies from various countries. And later this month, the 2nd Global Digital Trade Expo will also be held in China. We are applying high standards to the implementation of the RCEP. We are also working to align with the high standard economic and trade rules of the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, and the Digital Economy Partnership Agreement, DEPA, and expand a globally oriented network for high standard free trade zones. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative. Last month, we hosted the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation with 458 deliverables. Over 10,000 participants from 151 countries and 41 international organizations joined the forum. And $97 billion worth of business agreements were signed. At the forum, President Xi announced 8 major steps China will take to support joint pursuit of high-quality BRI development. This has opened a new chapter for the initiative and will inject strong impetus to global connectivity, development, and prosperity. Since the beginning of this year, as you know, Western media has painted a grim picture of China's development prospects, going as far as to say that China's development is now reversed. Facts speak louder than words. The reality is China's economy has not only ranked among the top of major economies this year, but also enjoys distinct strengths for the long term. For example, we have a socialist market economy in its systemic terms, a supersized market in terms of demand, a full-fledged industrial system in terms of supply, and abundant, high-caliber labor forces and entrepreneurs in terms of human resources. So China's economic development is self-generative, resilient, and has many potentials. The overall Chinese economy remains promising, and it will remain so in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, development requires a sound and peaceful external environment. That's why China has all along stood on the side of peace and justice, all along pursued friendship and cooperation with all countries, and all along played a constructive role in the settlement of regional and international hotspot issues. Be it the lingering Ukraine crisis or the recently resurgent Palestinian-Israeli conflict, China has always been promoting talks for peace and political settlement of issues. A few days ago, President Xi Jinping and President Joe Biden met in San Francisco and had in-depth exchange of views on strategic and overarching issues critical to the direction of China-US relations, and also on major issues bearing on peace and development of the whole world. This meeting was significant for enhancing trust, removing suspicion, managing differences, and expanding cooperation between the two countries. It pointed the way forward for the growth of China-US relations and injected stability into a volatile and changing world. So it is hoped that the US will work closely with the Chinese side in good faith to implement the important consensus reached by the two heads of state, so as to take China-US relations back to the track of steady and healthy growth. This year marks the 20th anniversary of comprehensive strategic partnership between China and the EU. Since last year, the two sides have witnessed frequent high-level exchanges and new progress in their practical cooperation. German Chancellor Mr. Scholz, French President Macron, and EU leaders visited China separately. And President Xi Jinping held meetings with them respectively. Premier Li Qiang visited Germany and France. Last Monday, President Xi spoke once again with President Macron over the phone, and Chinese EU leaders also plan to meet again in the near future. The steady development of China-EU relations has brought enormous benefits to both sides and provided positive energy for world peace, stability, and development. Ladies and gentlemen, China and the United Kingdom, the relationship between the two countries are consequential, and cooperation only brings benefits to both sides and the world. In the past, the UK led Western countries in developing relations with China and served as an important bridge for exchanges between the West and China. But I have to say, over the past few years, the UK is no longer so much as such a bridge. That's unfortunate. I mentioned this in my conversation with so many British friends, and I know they are all reflecting on this question. In my opinion, it is not right for the UK to have a diminishing role in connecting China and the West. I hope this trend can be reversed, and in my opinion, we need to do the following. First, we need to develop the right perception or perspective. One has to accept the basic fact that China is not a challenge to the UK, still less a threat. The 50-odd years of diplomatic relations between these two countries has shown very clearly that China's development means opportunities for all countries, including the UK. The UK's challenges, and I'm speaking about this, mindful of the fact that the Chancellor is going to make his autumn statement later today, be it low productivity or slow growth, high inflation or high cost of living here. None of those problems is caused by China. Naturally, the threats that the UK is confronted with do not come from China. China regards the UK as a cooperation partner, treating China as a threat, or even, a challenge, or even a threat, is not the right prescription, and it is fundamentally wrong. As for those who clamor for de-risking or decoupling from China, I think they are misleading the public here. And they are definitely not doing this country any favor. After all, decoupling from the Chinese economy, restricting the economic relationship with the second biggest economy in the world, means missing out on opportunities. Second, we need to respect each other. China and the UK have different histories, cultures, and social systems. So there are differences between our two countries on certain issues. This is only natural. For the relations to grow smoothly, both sides must respect each other, respect our different social systems and development paths, respect each other's sovereignty, security, and development interests, and respect our differences in culture and tradition. Issues or affairs related to Taiwan, Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and Tibet They are basically China's internal affairs. And we firmly oppose any interference in our internal affairs from any country. And we have the least interest, we have no interest in interfering in any other country's internal affairs. China does not seek to change the UK social system or way of life. Likewise, the UK should not harbor any unrealistic hope to change China's system and our way of life. We can learn from each other on the basis of mutual respect and enhance our respective strengths. On the basis of respecting each other's core interests and major concerns, we have every possibility to narrow down differences, expand common understandings, and increase mutual trust through dialogue and learning from each other. Third, we need to pursue mutually beneficial cooperation. Dialogue and cooperation should be the keynote of our bilateral relations. There is great complementarity and strong cooperation potential between China and the UK. I'm delighted to note that China-UK bilateral trade exceeded $100 billion for 2 years consecutively. And the two-way investment stock has surpassed $50 billion. This year, economic and trade cooperation numbers have continued to grow. The UK was a guest of honor country at the 2023 China International Fair for Trade in Services. That's a great thing to do. And 55 UK companies took part in China's Import-Expo in Shanghai. Our two countries can enhance cooperation in extensive areas such as trade, investment, finance, new energy, biomedicine, and digital economy. In particular, I'm very pleased Ambassador Wilson mentioned this. In particular, we have to strengthen our cooperation in new energy and green development. China has strong manufacturing and innovation capabilities in the field of new energy. Cooperation between China and the UK will help UK and China to achieve our respective goals. You have the net zero target by the year 2050. We have the carbon peaking target by the year 2030 and carbon neutrality by the year 2060. And we need to continue to collaborate because there are so many international conferences coming up on climate change. China and the British companies can also explore practical cooperation in third markets. To make it clear, we have every intention to strengthen our economic relations with the UK. And we believe any move to abuse the national security legislation and deliberately target Chinese companies will only affect their confidence in investing in the UK. Our two countries must work together to create a fair, just, and non-discriminatory environment for Chinese and British businesses to have mutually beneficial cooperation. Fourth, we need to join hands in tackling common challenges. As permanent members of the UN Security Council, countries with important global influence, and G20 members, China and the UK should enhance communication and coordination on a wide range of international issues, including global AI governance, climate change, and regional international hotspot issues, peace and stability in the Middle East and in Europe. And we need to work together to address these and other global challenges. President Xi Jinping has proposed the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative, and the Global AI Governance Initiative. We welcome all countries, including the UK, to participate in these initiatives and jointly contribute to world peace, stability, and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, the world has entered a new period of turbulences and profound transformation, presenting unprecedented opportunities and challenges. The UK will have its general election next year. At a time like this, more than ever, people with insight from all sectors in both countries, especially the business communities of our two countries, must proceed with confidence and be down to earth, build more roads of exchanges, and build more bridges for cooperation, so that we can deepen mutual understanding and friendship between our two peoples and lay a more solid foundation for the future growth of China-UK relations. I wish today's forum every success. Thank you.